Welcome to Raising the Bar, a podcast giving no bullshit marketing advice for Aussie business owners. Expertise takes experience, and that's why we tell stories from lived experience to deliver marketing that raises the standard of what Aussie business owners should expect.
We're back for episode 16 of Raising the Bar, and today we are talking about what content actually works in 2026. So there's been a bit of a shift in the content that's working, right?
Yeah, and I think it was probably worth putting up because I've delivered a few sessions lately for businesses predominantly on LinkedIn, because we do a lot of work with LinkedIn, and probably stats that are surprising people. So 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, probably up as early as maybe 5 years ago, like doing a production show reel just to make sure a business was presented in the best light was something that was really common. We'd get videographers in there, there'd be one or two, there might be a drone in the sky more recently, big microphones, lighting like we have here, but, quite polished. And now, real and perfection are two opposing things, and perfection isn't what's desired anymore. So the statistics are all speaking about this move to filmed on your iPhone, filmed by you individually, and as raw as it can and uncut as it can be.
Yeah. And I guess people, though, are quite nervous filming content. Often we see these business owners, and sitting there and trying to be real and authentic can actually almost be more daunting than someone saying, just say this line, right?
Absolutely, and I think that's where you can bring this to, we literally were talking in a delivery whip this morning about this one client we need to get on camera, and it would benefit his business so much as a case study for him, talking us through a phenomenal project he's done. I think if he delays us anymore, Corey, we just know he doesn't want it. We've come up with another idea for him. But in reality, where's that shift? Well, you've got a generation now that are coming through. We've got, an examples where back in the day, a plumber might have, thought that he had to bring a videographer in and get his picture of his cars and, a videography of his cars, and then someone walking out and greeting someone and, the whole kit and caboodle. It's not the case, and the ability just to grab their iPhone now, not spend, say, $3,500 on a really polished company overview show reel, and just move to, hey, I just went to this client. Their experience was that they were quoted $8,000 for this job. In reality, it's a trench. This has got to be done. It's maybe a $3,000 job. I just want to get out to market. Don't fall for this stuff. It might be busy, but that's, that's blue light, that's robbery. You shouldn't be able to do that to people. That stuff will get 4,000, views and be reviewed, whereas the polished content might get 12 likes, and the statistics are moving that way.
So interesting, isn't it? So what if you've got all these polished videos?
Don't throw them in the bin.
Are you sure?
Yeah. They have a place. So interestingly, YouTube, so show reels still have a place. When you're really trying to demonstrate a unique selling proposition, and it takes a little bit more, and those case studies as well, where you're actually with a client. I'm not saying it has to be immaculately polished, but you need it to be of a 3-minute timeline, but it probably just isn't a social media content piece. So we were talking specifically about social media for this and LinkedIn, but the place for that polished content is still YouTube. You still have to have a really good library of good content, and it's actually the thing you would use on your website. It might be a great landing page piece. So you send out a campaign, that campaign has a QR code, you go onto a landing page, and when you have to do that proof point, so we talk about the trust triangle and the proof point, that proof point is a case study that's a good 1 minute 30 good video of someone doing it. But in the scroll of LinkedIn, of TikTok, of Instagram, of Facebook, the polished content is actually creating a little bit of suspicion, more so than being this reputational, that's credible, you've actually spent the money, you've got this great thing to put together. It's just not the case anymore.
Yeah, I actually saw one today. It was a longer video, but it was of a business we've started working with, and they do drone services, and drone teaching. And the video was unbelievable, but it was these epic drones going out into these beautiful landscapes and doing these things, certain services that they're trying to make sure basically regulations change so they can actually be undertaken. And it was, there was no words to it. It was all beautiful landscape in this drone. And it was amazing. But yeah, it's one of those things that I think there's snippets of that will go on the landing page of their website and used in certain ways. But it's, luckily they actually had someone in-house with skills in cinema.
In drone filming?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. I don't know how that happened. Yeah.
I was going to say
Cinematography?
Yes, that's the one I was going to say. So, so perfect. So don't need lots of expensive videos. They still have a place, but just grab your camera, start filming, be yourself.
Yeah, listen, I think
that,
that probably simplifies things a little bit more. I think you still want a strategy around what you're talking about. So we'll talk about what the move is actually to. So we've seen it's about 32% more engagement from what we'd call genuine reels or self-filmed reels. So just being able to pull it out and put that together, and that was across the Instagram and TikTok platforms. Meta, a little longer form curated still works quite well, but even on LinkedIn, which is surprising, we see that the company long profile video isn't as popular anymore. Actually on LinkedIn, it's carousels at the moment. So a picture of before, or sometimes a transformation, or this was what it is, this is it, or here's a collection of photos. So have a think about that. The old still photo and a collection of things on LinkedIn is still really working. I don't think it's as simple as pulling out your camera. I think you need to know what you're talking about. I think there needs to be some sense to it, and you start a bit of a theme around it. So you still need a reason. So is it, I'm talking about, if it's the plumber example, I'm talking about the bad quotes that I see, not getting ripped off. I'm a plumber that is protecting the integrity of, the plumbing industry. So have you got a reason to speak? Are you just the person who gives daily updates on something to do with your business and what's happening, or what it's like to win a client, or have just come out of a sales meeting, I'm pumped, this is what's happened? Still planning. You still want something around it, but hey, you probably don't need a videographer following you around the whole time, making sure it's perfect and polished. I think something I'd add to that is, we're not perfect, and AI makes things look so beautifully polished that sometimes stuffing up your words or not articulating something, or for me, dropping in a swear word just because it comes out the way it comes out because I can only be who I'm going to be, those things are more refreshing to people now. There was this content is king, it was always content is king when it was SEO first and it was socials. And what I say is genuine content's the king now, because I can go on and produce a pretty good video of myself with AI. It needs to be perfect. I need to look a bit tired. My hair needs to be a bit fuzzy, because if it looks like a bot, people just scroll past it.
I don't think your hair could look anything but
fuzzy.
Yeah, fuzzy.
I think I was electrocuted at the point that my mother was forming my hair follicles. And
it would explain a lot of other things as well.
Yeah, and unfortunately it happened to my son Willie as well. He was born and possesses exactly the same hair. Poor little
He pulls
bugger.
it off. He pulls it off.
I don't know what you meant by the other things. I'm very smart and I'm perfectly well put together.
Don't necessarily always need that really polished content. People are using AI a bit.
Have a plan. Have some themes that go with things. I don't think people are going to start just whipping out their cameras. But what I'm saying is, with a cheap gimbal and an iPhone, you can get pretty good results that probably are more genuine and have higher engagement rates based on the statistics and where things are headed.
Yeah, and have the guts to post the video. I think that's a big one for people as well.
Oh God, of course
post it. Once you post a couple of videos, you see what people like as well. Whereas you don't post it, you don't know, right? Yeah.
So I think the statistics now around founder-led content. So there's some really cool statistics on the drop-off of people not following companies and people following people. I've always said people don't follow companies, they follow people, but there's actually a statistic that goes with that LinkedIn profiles get 560% more views than company profiles. So this whole idea of posting on a company page, actually what you want is an individual founder, me sharing 3x2 content on my page and my staff sharing 3x2 content, or me producing content and putting it on my page and the company sharing that content. It is more to the point. So founder-led content at this point in time. I know it's hard to get in front of a camera. I know it doesn't feel comfortable, and we all want our work to speak for itself, but we literally can be our best marketing tool in small business, and the best excuse we can make is, I don't have time. Don't have time to make phone calls, don't have time to make sales calls, don't have time to film this bit of content, but it really can accelerate your business.
Yeah. And when you've got the good strategy, when you know what platforms you're going to actually put your content on,
Yep.
what are the right ones, then it's easy to film it the way that it's going to work for that platform, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, I would say there's less than 3 of our businesses get success off TikTok. It is a younger generational platform. We get incredible success off Instagram and Facebook for a lot of our B2C clients, and LinkedIn is just really, really hot. I just presented a bit of a strategy update to a client, and we'd managed to get sort of 600 new followers for them in about 4 months, and it's pretty boring content, but what we've been able to do is tie really cool brands that they look after to their brand, and it kind of stops people scrolling and engaging it. And to actually get followers for that is interesting, because it's not something you didn't necessarily stop and follow, but it was working. So it was just the way we changed up their content. That wasn't just about them, but it was about the cool things they work with, because what they do every day is a bit boring, but what they look after on behalf of their clients is actually a bit exciting. So how do you make sure you're filming the right stuff in the most genuine way that gets people engaged?
So can you give me some statistics?
I did prepare some, actually.
Oh.
You'd be surprised, and had some verifiers. So I just, you hear some of these things quoted, and you're like, yeah, okay, how did that go? Let's pull the stats. So it's not a vibe. This stuff can really be measured. So lo-fi TikTok ads get a 32% higher watch through rate all the way through than polished. So polished is they just scroll past. Raw Instagram Reels beat studio content by 20% on an average over the last year. That's big. Lo-fi video being just what we film on our phone, to be fair. And then lo-fi videos plus 40% view rate and plus 30% greater reach versus any polished content that was put out. And then self-recorded video outperforms studio shots by 84% of the 84%. On Facebook stories as well. So just having it up to you versus just having a story that's a really polished story. So those stats are all leaning, and there's another 10 that I can quote, but they're all really leaning to that lo-fi kind of, you don't have to do it yourself. I'm not saying you have to have the camera in front of you, but just have someone with you with an iPhone. Actually, I was just chatting to our videographers here filming this for us. Obviously not polished content, you do your best, but we can only be as good as we are. I'm sorry, Joel. Joel filmed a lot of weddings in our previous life, and he's like, oh, even weddings are moving that way now, where people will pay for their still photographer because they can get the perfect shot, but they're actually just happy to have a content creator come with their iPhone and drop it to them on AirDrop as the way that they're using video content now. So wow,
that would save some money.
That would save some money. Yeah, it would. Yeah. Luckily, there's still some people out there that want to film podcasts that are keeping all these videographers busy, so it's okay.
I think though, there's also a piece though where if you are spending less on professionals coming and doing the filming, you still do need to invest money in the right kind of tech to be able to record it in a way that you can post on social media.
It's such a good point, mate. Like, audio is still the most important thing, hence, some beautiful studio microphone. Recording here. Yeah. Audio is still everything. And I'm going to be honest, I still think you need someone there with you. Like we have a couple of really good videographers we work with across our client base. And even if it's going to be quite natural, authentic shots, what they can do to just make sure lighting's right, even though you wouldn't know that the lighting's right, make you feel just a little bit more comfortable, direct you the way that I've sort of been told in the past, you do have a good side, you don't have you do have a bad side. Ironically, I think I just have 2 bad sides, but they do help to frame those things. So even though it doesn't have to be 2 videographers and a drone and, a lighting pole and people walking along with you, actually just having someone there, even if it's on an iPhone, to direct you a bit, gives you that level of comfort to overcome. And I think that's important, but sound is everything. You can invest in a little microphone, on lapel microphone, have that on you. If nothing else, you can pick them up pretty cheap, connect them to your phone. Audio matters the most.
Yeah, and I do think, I love our videographers that we use, but they make content that really feels just so real and authentic. And I think there's a lot of people that actually still need that to get the video done.
To prompt them, to make it happen.
Yeah.
You're going to sit there if you know that you've committed to having someone come to your office, and that's why I think the place is there. Why I think the service still exists. What I'd encourage people to do is you don't want this taking, 2-3 days to edit, to get back to you to put together. So long form content like a podcast, fantastic. That's no time. It does take time. Hopefully it doesn't take too much time to edit. We try and roll through them pretty quick. Sorry. Joel. But we might take a bit of time to turn that around. We do pre-record them because it's going on YouTube and it's going on Spotify. It's a different medium. But then with those snippets that we put together, that's just, we watch it over, go, that sounded pretty good, and we put it out there. And usually there's a swear word. But I guess my piece is you can still have someone there with you. You can still just use an iPhone. You can still be directed. But, you don't want to have someone saying take and it being scripted. Just talk from your heart. And that's the stuff that's going to captivate audiences and make people actually engage and watch the content all the way through.
Yeah, and don't be too critical. Don't refilm it 50 times.
No, it just doesn't matter.
Just post it.
Well, and this is the funny thing
though.
now. Like, this is different, but I've been teased my whole life for mellisms. I wouldn't say I'm the written content. I write well, but I don't do grammar well, and I'm busy. And if there's an extra S on the end, or there's a word missing sometimes because I'm pumping stuff out, and it's called a mellism, and we laugh about them internally, right? Now, ironically, the team kind of like mellisms because I think they know I wrote it. I'm not heartless, and I didn't put into, chat GPT, can you write my update for the team this week, or can you tell me what my speech needs to be for the town hall? It's always comes from me, and if I put an update through, it's got mellisms all the way through it, and they know it's me. So mistakes actually prove it's genuine, and I think that that authenticity is what people are looking for now. I mean, how many Instagram scrolls do you go down and literally they all start the same way in a storytelling? The rhythm and the way it's written doesn't have any personality because the bot's written it in that way, and I think that's a sad thing. So speaking from your heart is a beautiful thing, and content, video content is the same thing. Make mistakes, have little idiosyncrasies that people pick up on because at least they know it's real.
Yeah, I love that. And I do think if you are on social media and you go through, just see what you stop at, just see it yourself, because it is the authentic stuff.
Yeah, otter videos.
Did I say what?
Otter videos. What you stop at?
Authentic video.
Oh, otter video. You do like the odd otter.
I do love it. You do look cute.
Very cute. Yeah,
the
they
whiskers.
Are cute. Yeah, me
whiskers.
generally bar crusher videos.
Bar crusher boating videos, but that's okay. No, but listen, 100%. And I think what we're looking for is that for generations now we've been fed polished adverts, and they used to be funny and quite fun. And I don't know if political correctness has taken it now, but when something comes on Instagram and it starts, that trend will start, which is, support my granddad. He's gets all these negative reviews on Instagram about the wooden chopping boards he's making or whatever. And you're like, got me good the first time.
They've got me good the first time. And I even bought my mum a pair of authentic slippers from New Zealand because I thought some cute grandma was trying to make them. I know, Mum loved those slippers. Her bunions didn't fit, but nonetheless. But then you see the same advert or the same format of advert for 16 different products, and you'd actually just like, oh, for God's sake, it feels uncomfortable.
As a marketer, I can't believe you fell for that.
I thought of Valerie's poor cold Tootsies, and that's what made it happen. Mum does love her slippers. So yeah, I think it's seeing that those things become trends and that they're a little bit too polished. So people are now trying to take that authentic content and make it like try and take that polished view and then make that into a trend or whatever it is. But if you're in an office, let your staff film the content. Even I've had to relent, for me, I think they've done the balloon bloody video, and I've always said, guys, can we just concentrate on doing our clients' work? And I'm just old, I think is the problem. But, you do that stuff and you get the best view rates. And I think of little Evie and her doing the April Fool's joke on the bottom of our mouse pads and whatever. And that user-generated content, very genuine. One iPhone, a few girls giggling in the background, and it works really well. And the team loves it, right? I'm not going to win a client from it, but that's okay.
Never know.
Yeah.
Perfect. So 3 takeaways for today about content. If people are...
What's positive news, I think, is that you don't need to wait for everything to be polished. You make a plan of what you want to film and pick up an iPhone and be able to do that, or get someone to support you in doing that. Check your last 10 social posts, have a look if they, are completely polished posts or if they are actually ones that are going to be captivating and engage audiences, and know that mistakes are okay, and that mistakes are actually endearing features now, because we're all human, and what we don't want to see is a bot producing something that isn't real. And so trust yourself and back yourself in, and produce something that represents you. The totally flawed you is what we want to see.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, the clients we bring in, so often we come in, if, they end up signing and they're going to stay with us, is we come in, the first thing is like, this person. And you love this person in the business, this founder,
you want to profile them. Yeah.
And you want them to say, yeah, I'm happy to be the face of the business, because they're such cool humans. But often they don't want the...
Yeah, I think, we are all, as business owners, hoping to grow to a point where the business isn't reliant on us. But even as you scale and grow to a truly big business, you become the mentor, the trainer, the person for your team that teaches them, why you started the business in the first place. What is that mission? What is that vision? And when you're an SME, it actually is important that that passion is pushed through the business as a founder. And most of our clients are founders, right?
Yeah.
Being the face of your business isn't a negative thing. And I think people got really put off by it because it was standing there in quite awkward conditions, being quite scripted. Just be who you are and take stuff out and laugh and make mistakes, and people will probably find that more endearing than you ever imagine. They don't care that you can't present to camera. That's not an issue. They care that you love what you do and it's the best product that you can produce, and your heart and soul goes into it, and that's why they're going to engage with your company.
Yeah, I love that. All right.
Good. Let's get to work.